Hi, welcome to the Invested Life with Dan Can. This is a show where we invest in ourselves, others, and businesses. The businesses that I've chose to invest in is insurance and real estate. Have you ever wanted to have influence? Have you ever thought about what it makes or what it takes to be someone who's a leader? Whether you're in the healthcare industry, teaching, if you're a business owner, a stay-at-home mom, if you're a college student, I'm going to do a book report on a book that's going to help you learn how to have greater influence. And I truly believe that this will have impact on your life after this.
Most people chase success. Few build it on a foundation that lasts. On the Invested Life with Dan Can, we explore the intersection of faith, business, and personal growth, helping you invest in what matters most. This is your space to protect, provide, and promote with purpose. Join us now and start building a life you truly love.
Wow, what an amazing intro. There's a lot of promises in there. I hope I can deliver. I believe I can. That's why I'm doing it. Hey, welcome to the Invested Life with Dan Can. I'm so glad you're here. You're sharing your precious seconds, minutes with me, and I don't take that for granted. Hey, you know, about every fourth episode that we do a book report. And I can tell you right now, I am really excited to share this book report with you. I heard about this book on a podcast, and man, it's a classic, and I didn't even know it. And yet I missed another classic. There are a lot of classics out there. This book, so if you can, grab your journal and a pen, because I'm going to give you some nuggets that you're going to want to write down. But then I also think you're probably going to want to order this book, specifically if you know that you're in a spot where, hey, I have influence, but I want more. And if you are starting at the very bottom and you currently don't have any influence, this book will definitely help you get there. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and go over the book. The book is this. It's the 7 levels of communication. And if you're watching on YouTube, here's the book. If you're listening to the podcast, I'm going to read it again. It is the 7 levels of communication by Michael J. Maher, M-A-H-E-R. That's Michael, not Michelle. Michael J. M-A-H-E-R, the 7 levels of communication. The book is basically an allegory, and it is about a gentleman who is a real estate agent. The setting is 2008, 2009. During the Great Recession. His business isn't going well, and he's kind of in a tough spot. Well, he meets a young lady that's a loan officer that introduces him to a seminar that basically educates on the 7 levels of communication. Now, we all have a sphere of influence. That's something that I talk a lot about in regards to people that I mentor and disciple. We all have a spirit of influence. And I believe as leaders that we're called to provide, protect, and promote. Once again, that's provide, protect, and promote. And we typically do that, obviously, with the people that are nearest and dearest to us. So we can start with our family. If we're a business owner, it's people that decide to work for us. One thing that I talk a lot about is, the people that decide to work for me, they're sacrificing their time to come underneath my vision. I don't take that lightly. I'm very impressed by that, and I'm very thankful for that. And so it's my job to provide and protect and promote for them. And so this book really is about how to strategically grow your influence. Now, if you're in sales, okay, if you're a sales guy or you're a business owner, man, you're going to really connect with this real quick. But like I said, if you're a teacher, you might have a little bit of difficulty. And that's what I kind of want to dive into here, is for the people that may not be in sales. This is for people that, hey, listen, I'm a technician, right? I work at the garage, or I'm a custodian. Well, you can still have influence on people and still better their lives. And that's what I love about this book, is it really opens up how to systematically, and if you are writing notes, I want you to write that down, how to systematically create a platform for you to have influence in someone's life. Now, one of the things that it mentions in the book that I just love, that I've been writing down almost every day, it is impossible to spell the word communicate without the word time. It is impossible to spell the word communicate without time. Time. Obviously, those letters are found in the word communicate. And, we live in a day and age where we just kind of want Burger King baby, right? We want it our way. We want it fast. We want a microwave. We want 25 seconds. And guess what? Newsflash, that is not how relationships work. Relationships take time. And if you want to have influence, a positive influence in someone's life, it's going to take time. This book is dynamite at setting up time blocking so that you can focus on what's the most important to you. So I want to go over 3 things that this book does, right? First and foremost, it tells the story about relationships, how to generate relationships, how to enhance relationships, and how to bless those people in the relationship. It spends time on a pyramid. There's 7 layers to this pyramid. I don't have time to jump into that, but I do want to say it's at I think it's like the first chapter. It introduces the pyramid. And at first you look at it and you go, okay, I kind of get it. By the end of the book, you totally get it. So relationships are paramount. I've shared many times on this story amongst my 4 businesses. I have one role, okay? And that role is this: to create and maintain big relationships. To create and maintain big relationships. My next responsibility is vision and finances. So I'm in charge of vision for the 4 companies, and I'm also in charge of the finances. These are the 2 things that I spend the majority of my day on, that I thoroughly love. In this stage of my life right now, I am so thankful for the things that I get to work on. And hopefully you can say the same thing. So the first one is relationships. Focus on those, how to create them, new ones, how to maintain them, how to enhance the ones you have. Who doesn't want to learn that? And it's a really great systematic way on how to do it. I know I keep saying the word systematic, but that's what's great about this book, is that it just gives you a platform. It gives you a system, and you just have to follow the system. I implemented this book. I've been reading it for about 3 weeks. I took one of my sons to college. We drove from beautiful Spokane to beautiful Denver, Colorado. I can tell you that's a long trip, 16 hours. And I read the book and I listened to the book, and I am rereading the book. In fact, I'm going over the book with one of my real estate partners. We're doing a read and discuss. We believe in the classical education model in my house. As many of you know, we homeschooled, and I am bringing that to the table for my own education. I don't want to lose my love of learning. And so we're listening to the book. We're going over it again. The second thing is the communication pyramid. It goes over the 7 levels. And obviously we're all familiar with pyramid, right? That's my pyramid. Okay, you have advertising, okay? You have direct mail, you have electronic, you have all these steps that drive to the pinnacle, which is a one-to-one meeting somebody on purpose, but in person. Obviously coffee time, lunchtime, or you could do a Zoom. However, that's the pinnacle. That's the most important, is to invest, and you start that by advertising, all these other steps. That level of pyramid has brought me a lot of hope. What I was alluding to last time in the last paragraph I just said was, I utilized some of these steps and I generated a referral partner. Now, this is somebody that I've known who's been in my sphere for over 7 years that has never referred business to us. This book helped me to really initiate and be purposeful. Write down that word. This book really helps you be purposeful. And man, in 2 weeks, they have referred us 6 times to the Dan Can Insurance Agency, where, we do insurance and active investments. And so, like I said at the beginning, I focus on insurance and real estate, active investments. You can invest with me with Wave Capital. That's the active investment part. But this referral partner has blessed us with 7 referrals already. And think about that. I've known them for 7 years, but this book helped me initiate a conversation, which obviously is bringing value. And I'm also helping them with some business development things. And so what a win-win, right? I'm getting referrals. They're getting some business development. That means new deals, new leads. That's great. All right. So the third part is the power of generosity and giving first. Oh, here we go. Let's talk about generosity. Are you one of those name it and claim it people? Absolutely not. Are you one of those, myself? Are you one of those prosperity guys? Absolutely not. Listen, I'm a believer. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm a follower of the way. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He was not born in a palace, ladies and gentlemen. He was born and then placed in a trough, okay, a manger. We have a humble king, and however, his generosity should be a part of our lives. And man, I have been radically blessed by others and their generosity, and I try to give that back. Obviously, I'm not perfect at it, but it has a big part about being generous, being a gift giver. I thoroughly enjoy giving gifts. That is definitely not hard for me. Now that has been hard for me in seasons, but right now, I mean, I love it, and I want to continue to love it. Those sections are really purposeful and fantastic. So the last part is basically how to generate referrals for others. Now, if you're saying, Dan, you said I'm a teacher, how can I generate referrals? Man, you can help so many different people as a teacher because you are in people's lives. You know kids, you know families, you know where they're struggling, and you know where they're succeeding. You also know what parents are really good at, and you can really bless those parents by thinking outwardly and referring their businesses or their services to others within your network. And what a blessing. And I can tell you from personal experience, I was a fourth grade teacher back in the day, 2000 and 2001. And man, parents were so generous to me. Every Friday, I had this one kid. Her name was, I called her Miss Baker. Her name was Jessica Baker. Probably changed by now. She's 32. And but every Friday, she'd bring me a mocha. Every Monday, a family would bring me a donut. I mean, what generosity, right? And I knew what they did for a living, their parents, and I could refer them out. If you are in sales or you are in marketing, there's a wide variety of ways that you could bless others in regards to referring. The ratio basically, and once again, this book is kind of designed for real estate agents, kind of designed for loan officers, but really any business. But basically it's this. If you want to receive 50 referrals a year, you have to give out 100 referrals. So you want to double whatever your expectation is. And so that's the book. Let me show it to you again. The 7 levels of communication. Look at the glare. Michael J. Maher. It's a classic. I'm going to read it 3 to 4 times in the next 24 months. I actually bought it for 2 of my referral partners to help them grow their business, incorporating the 7 pyramid idea and also being generous. When we come back, I'm going to go over my Dan Can musings. And if I start crying, I apologize, but it's about me dropping off my son in college.
One accident can change everything. Are you covered? At Dan Can Insurance Agency in Spokane, we protect what matters most: your family, your car, your peace of mind. Get a free quote in a timely fashion. Dan Can, because you can count on us. Dan Can Insurance Agency specializes in auto, home, motorcycles, and life insurance. Call us today at 509-328-1422.
Hey, welcome back. So this is the section where I go over Dan Can musings. These are things that I see and I talk about. Well, this is about me, so this is a selfish one. So one of my boys has the opportunity to go to college in Denver, Colorado. And we had this elaborate plan, and I don't know about you, but sometimes plans change. You may want to continue to listen to this because this is a question, if you're a parent, that you may want to ask your children. You may also want to ask your significant other. I had the opportunity to do this because we drove together for 16 hours. But basically, this is what happened. He had a really nice car, a Land Cruiser, 1996. I was informed 2.5 weeks before we had to leave that, and this is from my lovely wife, Lisa, that car was not going to go to Denver. Because it was unreliable. It was a cool car, but the locks didn't work. The window was not going down. The AC was going out. It couldn't go over 55 miles an hour without the death shake. So, I mean, that's a wise decision. So I then am deputized to go find a new vehicle. Well, part of the plan was to put the needed items for his dorm into the vehicle, which means that we were going to ship it. We were going to have a shipping company ship it to Denver. Well, you can't get a quote unless you know what kind of vehicle you're going to have. So then I tried to find a vehicle. Thankfully, I found a vehicle. We had to make some adjustments to it. I initiated with the car company that ships it, and they said, oh, yeah, we can pick it up by Tuesday. It'll be dropped off by Saturday. I said, wonderful. We're not going to be there till Wednesday. None of that happened. The shipping company, they ghosted me. So then it started getting a little tight around the house because we're figuring out what we're going to do. Well, we were going to fly down. It was going to be restful, all that stuff. Well, that didn't happen. We then got the new vehicle. We packed it up. And then we decided to drive to Denver. Now, I love road trips. I love driving. I love spending time with my sons. So, it's tough, but it wasn't. Well, we have 16 hours together. We're in this vehicle. And this is where it kind of gets emotional. It has cruise control, okay? However, on the highways of Montana and Wyoming, you can go 80 miles an hour. Well, because of the weight that was in the vehicle and because of the speed, if you went to put it in cruise control, 80 wasn't going to work. You either had to go 5 miles below or 5 miles above. Well, I'm a dad. I'm dropping off my youngest son. I'm trying to make this trip as long as possible because, frankly, I don't want to let him go. Although I do, but I don't. So I'm at 75 miles per hour, right? Because I'm trying to make this thing last. Well, Cameron, sorry, I wasn't going to say his name, but I just did. My youngest, he goes to drive. Well, he's at 85 miles an hour because he wants this new life to start. He's ready for college. And so I just thought, man, isn't that a picture of being a parent? You want things to slow down, and the kids, they want things to speed up. Here's the question that I asked him. I said, son, you've spent your whole life with me. And let's do some reflecting. So we talked about some memories and stuff like that. And I said, son, if you had to explain me to somebody, or if you want to describe me, what would you say? What are the 3 things you would say? And he's a very inquisitive young man, so he took his time. He said, 1, you're loving. 2, you're kind. 3, you're efficient. Oh man, I died. How many kids call their dad efficient? I actually lost it. I was laughing, and I'm like, well, explain that to me. And he just basically said, you have your time, and your time is valuable, and you want to spend it well. You want to be a good steward of your time. And that made me feel a lot better. Within that, I think he was also saying that my efficiencies probably might sometimes show up as anxiety and, hey, let's get going. But really, what a powerful question to ask a loved one. If you could describe me in 3 words, what would you say? I was very blessed by his word, loving and kind, and obviously being efficient. I just thought was funny. I would really encourage you to ask a loved one, hey, what are 3 words that you describe me? And then I would tell them 3 words that describe them. That's purposeful conversation. It definitely ties into the book with the 7 levels of communication. When we come back, I'm going to tie this all together like I always do.
Overwhelmed by taxes, payroll, and bookkeeping? Busy Bee Bookkeeping helps Spokane businesses save time, money, and sanity. From tax prep and planning to custom fit bookkeeping and payroll, we tailor every service to your needs. Take the sting out of tax season. Visit busybeebookkeeping.com or call 509-931-1539 and let us keep your books so you can grow your business.
Hey, we're all on a journey. We all have a story that we're telling, and every story has a setting. The setting in regards to your story is your life, where you live, where you work, where you spend your time, where you have your time, talent, and treasure. This podcast was about, hey, what's the problem? The problem is this. Well, sorry, the character is you. What's the problem? The problem is this. I want to have greater influence. If you're in sales, I want to generate more leads. If you are in the healthcare industry, you want to care for people. You want to connect with people. The solution, or part of the solution, I believe, is this book, The 7 Levels of Communication. It gives you a strategic blueprint on how to start at the base and make your way up to a one-on-one meeting. If this was a sermon, it would be, hey, you can't spell communicate without the word time. You want to strategically place yourself in situations where you can spend time. I could tell you with my 3 boys, discipling and mentoring them. We get together once a week. We have for years, and that's a disciple mentorship time. When those times would go away because of busyness or this, that, or the other thing, our relationships would start to get strained and be a little frustrating. if you have relationships right now that might be strained or might be frustrating, I'm going to challenge you right now. It's probably because you're not spending enough strategic one-on-one time with them. I'm not telling you I'm perfect, but I am telling you that it's probably a principle that you want to live by. What a joy that you would spend time with me. I am thankful that you listened to this book report. I'm thankful that you listened to my Dan Can musings. I didn't cry, which I'm totally proud of myself of right now. And as always, Dan Can listeners, let's do the sign. Let's love well and let's do good today. Thank you for listening. If you want my 5 books for personal and business breakthrough, I have 5 books that I believe everybody should read. Hey, go to my website, investwithdancan.com. Once again, investwithdancan.com. Fill out the webinar and lead sheet, and I will email you the 5 books that I believe that you should read. And I still believe that we should love well and do good.